Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I am going to start this afternoon by reading the Land Acknowledgement Statement. As a land-grant institution, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign has a responsibility to acknowledge the historical context in which it exists. In order to remind ourselves and our community, we will begin this event with the following statement. We are currently on the lands of the Peoria, Kaskaskia, Piankashaw, Wea, Miami, Mascoutin, Odawa, Sauk, Meskwaki, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Ojibwe, and Chickasaw nations. It is necessary for us to acknowledge these Native nations and for us to work with them as we move forward as an institution. Over the next 150 years, we will be a vibrant community inclusive of all of our differences with Native peoples at the core of our efforts. And I welcome Dean Anderson to start our program.
So, good afternoon, everyone. And I'd like to welcome everyone and to thank you for coming out to this investiture. First, I would like to acknowledge our special guests. And we have a group of distinguished guests that are going to be part of the program, beginning with Dr. Rita Metse-Mabakola. And I want to point out special pride here, who is the Vice Provost for International Affairs and Global Strategies, but also a faculty member in the College of Education. Ritu, could you stand? We got a lot of pride going on here today. Next is Dr. Lisa Mondamaya, Interim Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education, but also a faculty member in the College of Education. Yeah. Next, Dr. Ami Santos, Associate Provost for Faculty Development, and also a faculty member in the College of Education. What would a campus do without faculty members from the College of Education? Dr. Leora Breslin, Professor Emerita, Curriculum and Instruction. Leora, for you. And Dr. Melinda Snodgrass, Assistant Professor at Illinois State University. And then Dr. Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky and her husband and her sons. I will have them to stand when I call a name. I know the family. I've been to the home and had the best food I've ever had in my life. So, and I met the boys when they were a little bit shorter, but man, have they grown in the last couple of years. So, Hedda, would you stand for, I think everybody knows you, but again. And her husband, Yanni Kaplansky. Thank you. And their 4 sons, Itmar. He used to be shorter than me. Rod. Okay. Daniel. And Ethan. Yes. While this outstanding investiture honors Professor Meadan-Kaplansky accomplishments as a scholar and a professor in the college for many years, it is also a cause for celebration for all of us in the College of Education. We're standing here today because of the commitment and generosity of Robert Valpey, who believed in giving back to the university and the community. Both Robert and Margaret Valpey were University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign students, the alums of the university. Robert received his PhD in theoretical and applied mechanics from the College of Engineering in 1962. While Margaret, who went by her middle name Joy, earned her master's degree in special education from the College of Education in 1951. After graduating from Illinois, Dr. Robert Valpey worked for the Space Systems Division of the U.S. Air Force Special Projects Office in Inglewood, California. And then as chief of the Turbo Machinery Section for the Wright Air Development Center equipment at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. He went on to serve as Dean of Engineering and Technology at California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo. His wife, Margaret Valpey, served as a director of special education for San Luis Obispo County Schools in California. When she passed away in 1998, Robert decided to endow a faculty position in the College of Education's Department of Special Education in her name. Joy, as she liked to be called, had frequently remarked that her education at Illinois opened doors for her to do what she enjoyed most, teaching and providing leadership in the field of special education. Thus, through her generous support to the College of Education, the Margaret Valpey Professorship in Special Education was created. At the time of the endowment, Valpey reflected, that's Robert, reflected, I hope that my gifts to Illinois will help generations of people. I use the resources available to me in a way that I hope will influence the future of special education and engineering at Illinois for many years to come. These are fields Joy and I found very rewarding that brought us a great deal of personal and professional satisfaction. The Margaret Valpey Professorship furthers the rich tradition of innovation in special education at the University of Illinois. Scholars are sought whose work has the potential to change our understanding of all of the contexts in which learning takes place, while seamlessly integrate education into the flow of everyday life. Dr. Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky's research focuses on social communication skills and the challenging behavior of children with autism and other developments, and intervention methods to enhance these fields of functioning. Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky and her team use a cascading intervention model in which they train and coach natural change agents, including family members, service providers, and behavior analysts, to use evidence-based strategies to promote social communication and skills of children in the natural environment. Joining us this afternoon to celebrate Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky and to share the importance of endowed professorships is Vice Provost Rachel Messi Mabacola. I would like to invite her to offer her perspective on the importance of endowments such as Margaret Valpey Professorship and its importance to the mission of the university. Vice Provost.
Thank you, Dean Anderson. Today feels particularly special because I'm back home in the College of Education. I'm delighted this afternoon for your remarks. Thank you for your leadership of the College of Education. I'm honored to represent university leadership today to celebrate Dr. Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky with her investiture as the Margaret Joy Smale Valpey Professor of Special Education. And on behalf of Provost Cangularis, let me offer my congratulations to Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky on this well-deserved recognition. Today we're here to celebrate scholarship, education, and family. Endowed professorships are one of the highest honors the university confers upon a faculty member. Our faculty are the intellectual heart of our institution, and through investitures, we recognize their innovation, their contributions, and express our gratitude for their impact. This investiture also presents us with the opportunity to reflect on our shared purpose and vision. As a land-grant institution, the university has a responsibility to serve the community, the state, the nation, and the world. As faculty members, that means we have a unique responsibility to engage in scholarship that addresses important issues locally and globally, and to empower our students with the competencies to be leaders in their fields. Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky's significant contributions meet those criteria, and her work serves as a model for how we can contribute to the land-grant mission of the university. That same land-grant mission also influences alumni and friends of the institution. Our alumni contribute to the university's capacity to play a transformational role in society. By endowing professorships, alumni are able to directly support the individuals who carry these ideals forward. Endowed professorships allow us to retain exceptional faculty, to invest in their cutting-edge research, and to sustain their transformational teaching. We're very grateful to the generosity of the Valpey family for the resources they have provided through this endowment. Their contribution is an enduring tribute to joy, to our institution, and to our faculty members. It is an honor we do not take lightly, and we utilize this gift to better serve our communities through exceptional scholarship, teaching, and public engagement. Once again, I would like to offer my congratulations to Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky on her investiture. This is a significant milestone as a faculty member, and we look forward to even more achievements in the future. So you're not off the hook yet, Hedda. We want more work. I would now like to invite Dr. Leora Bressler, Professor Emerita in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, to provide her remarks on Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky's impact.
I think it's the first time in my career that I speak in the front of a podium, so a new experience. It's really an honor, a great honor, and it's a pleasure. I told some of my colleagues that reading the 61 pages that Hedda's dossiers was as good as cheesecake, even better than cheesecake. That's a very high compliment for me. And it is testimony for an extraordinary person. I will start just as an appetizer with some facts, but then I will go to the more evaluative and then a touch of personal. Let me know if the microphone doesn't work. So things like 106 peer-reviewed papers, publications in the leading journals where she is either first or senior author or way more than half of these papers, plus chapters, plus books. And recent scholarship includes 14 publications in press, 3 published in 2021, average of 11 per year in the last 5 years. I remember when I got associate, one of my colleagues, Daniel Wall, said, "Why are you working? You're already tenured." And I thought, well, full professor, 11 per year in the last 5 years. Many grants, few major grants, where she is a PI. Currently serves as principal investigator and site principal investigator for 2 large 5-year personnel grants, preparation grants, funded by the Office of Special Education. Long list of doctoral students who graduated, 10 current doctoral students, but for us quantitative and qualitative people, it's not just the numbers. I remember talking to Hedda students when they attended my classes, and they were talking about the intense mentorship, meeting weekly with every single one of them, caring, attending. Dean Anderson talked about the food at her house, creating a community that was very special. And of course, the students were co-authors of many published papers. List of awards, boards, research, and teaching in professional societies and in UIUC, including the Distinguished Promotion designation, guest editor for special issues for 4 different journals, in addition to her role as associate editor for 2 leading special education journals, review panels, US Department of Education. You know, it's long, you get the sense. I mean, it's really extraordinary. What I would like to do is read short excerpts from the 6 letters. And you can see, I don't know if they like cheesecakes, but you can see that they enjoyed reading her papers as much as I did. And it's fully substantiated, you know, it's not just kind of generic thing. They really read the papers and they addressed it. I am just taking snippets. Stop me if I go beyond my time. But examples. This is an exceptionally strong record of publication, puts her among the more prolific scholars of her generation. This was written by all 6 in different language. Leonard Abeduto, UC Davis, director of the Mind Institute, Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Science, writes, in conclusion, I think it's a 6-page letter, Dr. Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky has established herself as an international recognized leader in the field of special education. Her scholarship is innovative, theoretically sophisticated, and methodologically rigorous. Most importantly, her research is transforming practice in special education. And many people talked about the fact that her work is foundational and transforming practice. That's quite extraordinary. Howard Goldstein, Associate Dean of Research at the University of South Florida. Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky is a rising international star in special education. Her publication record is truly exceptional and continues an upward trajectory. He goes on several paragraphs to substantiate and then continues. That is extraordinary for behavioral scientists, the quantity and the quality he addresses. She is one of the foremost experts in the world in family-centered care and family-profession partnership, and he talks about the different areas. Moreover, she is among the few investigators who has systematically investigated Latino and African-American families. Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky is the complete package, demonstrating excellence in research, teaching, and service. She has demonstrated an impressive commitment to training the next generation of researchers in her field. He talks about her stellar national and international stature in service. And other people say, Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky and her colleagues have used technology as a way of making training and professional development for caregivers and professionals more accessible. This has been a critical step in moving PICS and other training programs out of the university and into the community, making these programs available where they are needed rather than when they are easy to implement. Our own efforts to train parents to support their children's language and communication development has been strongly influenced by Dr. Meadan-Kaplansky's sophisticated use of technology, as well as her insights about its promises and pitfalls. She is ahead of the curve in this domain, and many scholars, he writes, are looking to her for how telepractice can be used in education and its efficacy tested. She is one of the leaders nationally and internationally in this domain. Other couple of more excerpts. Professor Meadan-Kaplansky has the distinguished research record and exercises an exceptional influence to her foundational work in social communication skills and challenging behavior of young children with autism and other developmental disabilities. And in other writes, Professor Meadan has long believed that internet technology can help bridge the gap in service delivery delays encountered by families who live in rural or remote areas. Her work in this area was well ahead of the curve, and many looked to her for guidance on the COVID-19 pandemic forced special educators to provide services to families with children with disabilities via Zoom or using other technology-based platform, something that had not been done on a large scale in our field before. She and her research team have provided practical solutions to barriers associated with this service delivery model by enhancing our ability to reach children and families across the country who desperately needed and will continue to need virtual special education services. I will read just one more because I know there is dinner and other things. But what is most impressive about Dr. Meadan's dissemination effort is how she appears to effortlessly connect research and practice. In fact, her work is an elegant combination of conceptual sophistication and clinical relevance. People talk about the interdisciplinarity, the many different departments that her work includes. I would like just to say 3 quick personal things. To me, one of the things that I feel, is it proud or happy, probably a combination of both, is that I was the first contact of Illinois with Hedda. She called me, I think it was 1999. We had a mutual friend. He talked about this vibrant, exceptional person. Would I talk with her? Yes, of course, I talked to her. She had, as I remember, a couple of other offers that were very attractive, and if I remember correctly, was leaning towards another university. Yeah, very much leaning. For those of you who know me, I came here in the last century, 1987, for 9 months. 9 months. I never planned to come here. I actually fell in love with Urbana. I feel I really do love Urbana. And we have been here ever since 1987. I raised twins, so we talked at length about the place, the community, the university, the culture. Jim Haley, who was your advisor. It was a very lovely conversation, and I was extremely happy because I wanted to meet you. I don't know that you accepted the offer and came to Illinois. And then shortly after you accepted came Yoni. And I still remember, I have a very bad memory for those that know me, but I still remember the conversation 23 years ago. Hedda had Itamar, who was 2 years old, and Nimrod, who was 6 months old, I think, so she stayed, and Yoni came to look for a house. I thought he was the most extraordinary husband, except mine. I'm very fond of mine. But he was wonderful. And when he talked about Hedda, he was glowing. He was glowing. It wasn't kind of the pet, she's amazing, like she really is. But I remember that kind of glow, and I just loved him instantly. I never told either of you, but kind of a moment of truth. And I want to say that we talked 40 minutes ago, and he had the same glow, where we both of us agreed that she's, anyway. So these were the two personal things. And I want to say she took my class. She was a joy. Deep, as good as they come. And then I took her classes, because when you went for promotion, I know nothing about special ed, but I knew something, and I wanted to learn. So this was my opportunity. It was one of these very challenging room 2, auditorium-like undergraduates. I've never had, it was excellent. It was excellent. I remember actually being engaged and thinking, if I had a teacher like Hedda, maybe I would have gone into special ed. But I didn't. I could talk much more, there is no need, but it's really a joy and to celebrate with you and to be in the same college. So thank you for that. And I will now call for Dr. Melinda Snodgrass, who I understand is the very first doctoral students that Hedda had.
Thank you, Dr. Bressler. I'll stand on my tiptoes. As you've heard, Hedda is skilled at many things, but she is at her best when she is teaching, supporting others to meet their goals, shepherding students through their educational journeys. Hedda is at her best when she is mentoring. I first met Hedda in the strange, surprisingly dark hallway of the third floor of the College of Education, where she was locked out of her office, not yet having gotten keys. She was starting her faculty position here, and I was a new doctoral student, and we ended up having our first meeting on a couch in a hallway. But that was the beginning of a relationship that would impact me forever. A decade later, she definitely has keys to the office, along with many other awards and distinctions that this university and her field have given to her. But in my opinion, it's those quiet, unacknowledged moments that capture best what Hedda means to me. Meeting with students, teaching us, supporting us, shepherding us. Hedda is at her best when she is mentoring. In the years since Hedda became my mentor, she has shepherded numerous students through their studies at all levels of higher education, and Yoni and her boys will probably tell you also at the high school and elementary school levels. And Hedda has the enviable ability to hold seemingly infinite details in her working memory, a skill she wielded as my mentor to keep me on top of my deadlines, as well as hers, to check in with me about life events, to celebrate my birthday, my anniversary, my son's birthday, and to remind me of tasks too long put off. She put my work ahead of her own, making sure I had her feedback quickly and that I progressed through the doctoral program, through that grant application, through that journal's special issue deadline without delay. While this professorship acknowledges Hedda's extensive contributions to the field, it also points to the uncountable, unobservable, unmeasurable work Hedda has done to support her students. This work, this emotional labor, may not add many lines to her CV, but it is evident in us, in those that she's supported and taught. Hedda is at her best when she's mentoring. As Dean Anderson shared, Dr. Valpey endowed this professorship in the hopes that it would benefit generations of people. Hedda has embodied that spirit in her mentorship of me, and I'm sure in the mentorship of many others, working to prepare us to do what's next, to keep the field of special education moving forward, changing, evolving, to change the field as she has changed us. Hedda is at her best when she is mentoring, and we, your mentees, are grateful. Congratulations on this much-deserved award, Hedda.
Now we need to invite Hedda to stand over here, or over here. Okay. In a tradition dating back to the Middle Ages, the symbolic emblem of the endowed professorship is a medallion. And actually, there's a striking similarity here. The first endowed professorship, that's for those who end up on a trivia show, and that $1,000 at stake, was 1502 at Oxford University, and it was the Lady Margaret Endowed Professorship. Yes. So you got a spiritual connections here. The one we present to Professor Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky today is engraved with the seal of the University of Illinois, the title of Margaret Joy Smale Valpey Professorship, and Hedda's name. We know that she will display it with pride as a tangible symbol of both the professorship and of her own achievement here in the College of Education. It is with great admiration and distinction that we present Dr. Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky, the Margaret Valpey Professor of Special Education. Stay up because it's time for your remarks.
Wow, thank you all so much. My kids had a bet if I'll cry or not. I won't tell you what happened, but I'll try my best not to cry so I can win. Well, thank you for joining this celebration in person or online, and thank you, Dean Anderson, Leora, Ruthie, and Melinda, for your remarks. I feel very, very honored. I want to tell you about the journey that led me to where I am now, and thank the many people who supported and encouraged me along the way. And Leora gave you a little bit of what I'm going to say, so there's some reliability here. About 23 years ago, I had a phone call that started my journey at the University of Illinois. I applied to the doctoral program here at UIUC and had a phone call with Professor Jim Halley. Jim, I believe you joined online and hope you can hear that. I had a few interviews by then, but this one was very different. As many of us know, Jim likes to ask questions, and many questions. Jim asked me questions that made me think and reflect. He asked me what I want to study, why I want to study this, and what I think will be the impact of my research. He asked about the social importance of my areas of interest and introduced me to the concept of social validity, a concept that guides all my work till this day. Jim taught me and reminded me many times that every study needs to be socially important and meaningful, especially for the children, families, and professionals we work with. The next phone call was from Professor Leora Bressler. I believe Jim asked her to contact me and use our Israeli bond to encourage me to come to the University of Illinois. Leora described the opportunities I could have in the Department of Special Education and the wonderful faculty in the department and the college. After talking with a few more faculty from the department, I knew that this is where I want to be, to learn and to grow as an educator and a researcher. In 2000, Yoni, my husband, and our two very young children, Itamar, who was 2 years old, and Rod, who was 6 months old, moved across the ocean from Jerusalem, Israel, to Champaign, Illinois. Some people said this was brave. Looking back, I'm not sure brave is the best word to describe what we've done. Everything was very new to us and very different than what we were used to. New language, new weather, I'm still trying to adjust to that, new culture, and new lifestyle. It requires a very big adjustment for our family. During my time here, I also worked very closely with Professor Miki Ostrowski, and I think she's online too. Miki, I hope you can hear us, and other faculty in the department, and learned to appreciate each one of them. I'm very lucky and honored to say that Jim, Leora, and Miki continue to be my mentor and sometimes my cheerleaders. And many faculty from the department, some of them are here today, Lisa and Stacy and Ami and Susan, have become my colleagues, collaborators, and friends throughout the years. Although I frequently say I don't like changes, similar to moving across the ocean a few times, my research focus also changed and developed over the years. My bachelor degree was in biology and chemistry. My master's degree focused on social behavior of school-age children with behavioral disorder, and my doctoral program focused on social communication behavior of young children with autism and other developmental disability. Since completing my dissertation, my research and work center around two primary areas, communication and families. Both my professional and personal knowledge and experience related to this area continue to develop and expand. Communication, which is the right and needs of all people. And in our work, and I say ours because I think all of us here work on it together, strive to find ways to promote children communication in their natural environment. In addition, during my doctoral program, just as I completed data collection for my dissertation, Yoni and I had our third boy, Daniel. And after graduating, we were very blessed to have our fourth boy, Eitan. As a mother of 4 boys, my commitment to learning more about families and finding ways to support family from different backgrounds increased. After graduating, I had the privilege of working at the Illinois State University and at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in Israel before coming back to the University of Illinois in 2012. I worked and learned with many excellent researchers in the US and around the globe. I also had and have the opportunity to work with many amazing students and postdoctoral fellows. Sometimes I refer to them as my academic children, and I even have a few academic grandchildren already. Many of them are here today. Thank you all for being here, and I in person and online, so thank you all for being here. I have to say that working with students is one of the best parts of my job, and I truly enjoy collaborating with them, learning from them, and mentoring them. Thanks to the very talented members in our team over the years, our research lab had important and innovative contribution to our field. We published many articles, presented in various conferences, and secured funding from different agencies. We have developed and used telepractice and other technology even before the pandemic. And many professionals and researchers contact us during the pandemic to learn about our work. We continue to learn from and support children, family, and professionals, and explore ways to improve the quality of life. My students pushed me and pushing me now, and motivate me to conduct rigorous and social valid research. Thank you all. I'm very proud. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. I'm very proud of and enjoy celebrating with each of my current and past students their professional and personal accomplishment. And there are many of these, all of you here and around. The journey wasn't always easy, but here we are today, 23 years later. The journey required hard work and persistence, surrounding myself with kind, smart, and supporting people, and learning to appreciate the small and big accomplishment and contribution. There are many people I want to thank, including the late Robert and Margaret Valpey, faculty and staff in special education, the College of Education, and the university, and many of my collaborators, friends, and family members in the US, Israel, and around the globe. There are too many to name today. I especially want to thank my own children. You ready? I have learned so much from each one of you. Itamar, you taught me about the importance of following your heart and finding the path that is best for you, even if not everyone agrees with you. Rod, you taught me and showed me how to be persistent and committed to your own goals and dreams. Danielle, you taught me that it's okay to challenge the system, and that formal education is not always the most important one. And Eitan, you taught me to appreciate what is around me, be present, and enjoy our family times. I'm proud and love each one of you. And finally, I want to thank you, Yoni, my husband. Thank you for your unconditional love and support. Thank you for being there for and with me in the good times and the challenging times. Thank you for allowing me to do what I enjoy the most, including driving to our family vacation for hours while I'm connected to my hotspot working on my computer. I couldn't have done any of this without you. And thank you everyone for being here today and celebrating with me. Thank you.
So again, I just want to thank everyone for coming out this afternoon, and again to say welcome to take part in this investiture for a very special person in the College of Education. I think you know from her own talk that she's also a graduate of our college, and that always gives at least the dean a special pride. Saying she's a graduate of our college. She's not just a faculty member in our college, but she also graduated. I use that when I'm talking to new hires. what I did early on, I said to one, I said, you come in as assistant professor, and then you get promoted to associate, and then to full, and have leadership in the college. And I said, and then you move on to campus. And one sort of balked. So then I named Ami, Rachel, Lisa Mondemaye. So they all moved on to campus positions. You can do that also. It was a different kind of smile on the face. But anyway, again, please join us in taking the opportunity to offer your congratulations one more to Professor Hedda Meadan-Kaplansky.